Welcome one, welcome all. I am Beridger, and we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, it is turn number 6 in this Fields of Fire campaign for mission number 1. Let's huddle up, men, and find out what the situation is. It's not looking good for the flanks. The center's actually done a pretty good job. You can see here we've got significant movement straight through the center all the way up to this hedgerow area here. Indeed, we were able to put some flanking fire on a heavy machine gun nest that was pinned down in this location here. And that was actually a farm with some really good cover in the end. But now we've managed to completely destroy that enemy. They're a litter team now. They'll probably retreat next turn. They might be able to rally themselves into a fire team. We'll have to see. The main goal continues to be secure this road right here. And to that effect, we need to get the woods. That's our secondary objective, right next to the road that's also right in front of the hill. Now, those are going to be very complicated by the fact that there is an enemy heavy machine gun just absolutely murdering anything that appears on this road. There's just no real good cover there, including this poor bastard here in the orchard at the end of the road, who's now pinned there. Similarly, on the other flank, we did have to investigate this open field on the right flank here, but we knew it was going to be deadly if it turned out that there were enemies watching it. And there were. There's a squad of enemies here with rifles, and there's a squad of enemies over here surrounding a MG42 machine gun, and they're both pouring fire into that field there. Unfortunately, we have not yet been able to spot these enemies, so we are not returning fire. We can't quite see where the shots are coming from. We hope to rectify that this turn, as this is the first time we've had the opportunity to potentially do that. Second platoon, still remains back in reserve. Much of first platoon remains back here awaiting some resolution with regards to the left flank and how we're going to deal with this heavy machine gun that's way over in the village firing down the road. The only way that we can fire back is to move ourselves into one of these spots in order to fight. We can't flank them like we did with this machine gun because this is our line of advance. We may not. We have direct orders. Do not advance past that point. So we either take control of these areas here and put some fire back on them, which is not a good trade. We'd be having one built-in cover, maybe two if we find some good bushes or rocks to hide behind. They have a total of 6. That is a huge difference, and it's going to significantly decrease the chances that we're going to be able to take them out in a single turn, which means they're going to put a lot of hurt on whatever we put on these cards, because they can hit lots of things at the same time, and we only need to try to hit one thing. The thought that crossed my mind is we move the forward observers over here and try to bring down some fire onto that machine gun. The other option is we could use the forward observers who are located here on this hedgerow bocage area. Right now, they actually need to be rallied. They are a little bit pinned and scared at the moment. But we could put some fire onto the objective itself, which will block line of sight for the enemy, and then that will allow this unit to escape out of the area. One of the odd quirks of this system that I'm not sure I fully appreciate, but we're going to play it as it lies, is that if you simply manage to break line of sight to an enemy unit, they just leave. They disappear, and that's it. You don't have to fight them. So it seems unfortunate that we could just have, these guys that are pinned on the side, just give them orders to leave, and then the enemy disappears, and you never have to fight them. I really don't like that, but we're going to play it as it lies, and I've got an idea how to solve that if it turns out to be something that just feels way too easy to deal with. But that all having been said, let's begin. First, we're going to check for a headquarters event. We did not get a headquarters event over here, so now we're going to pull for the company headquarters and get all these guys up to here. The XO, unfortunately, Lieutenant Robert Anderson, very sad, he has perished. He was here trying to help coordinate the fire against the heavy machine gun at the farm when a stray shot got him, and he is the casualty that is listed here, essentially. Or he's the paralyzed team, one or the other. But he's down. We're not going to see him again. for the duration of the war. We're going to have to get a replacement. In the meantime, company headquarters is going to have a 4 -1 thanks to our crappy green captain, whoever that is. Oh, wait, it's me. The other situation here, where's my activity level? There it is. So the activity level should be engaged because we do not have any enemies in the same card as anybody else. So that's good. So 4 is not bad. We do have the option to activate 3rd Platoon headquarters over here, and we have the opportunity to activate 1st Platoon as long as our company headquarters leaves the cover. They can come out and activate 1st Platoon. They actually can't activate 3rd Platoon. I forgot because he's undercover. He doesn't need to be undercover strictly, but he is within line of sight of this enemy here. So it's entirely possible that the enemy could shift their fire towards the commander of the 3rd Platoon there. But right now, the first thing we've got to do is deal with this forward observer who is currently pinned, and they're on the wrong sides. We've got to rally them twice with 2 different actions, though. Technically, they're all considered rally actions, but the first one is attempt to remove a pinned marker, this one up here, then attempt to flip a unit with a fire team side to the front. So those are 2 distinct orders, which means we can do them both. But I think actually, where are we? We are also pinned here, which I think gives us a +1, -1, right? On command draw modifications. We are green, that's a -1. We are pinned, that's a -1, but we're undercover, that's a +1. So I think together they give us the total of -1 that we gave to ourselves earlier. We had 4 -1 is 3. So let's start. We don't have to unpin ourselves, but when you're pinned, you're out. You cannot use visual communication, so we would not be able to talk to the officer. So first we have to rally ourselves. The good news is those rally actions are all automatic if the people aren't under fire. You can see here, all of these say auto if not under a VOF, if not under volley of fire. So we automatically unpin ourselves, which is that right there. And then we're going to give the order to this forward officer to unpin himself. And then we're going to give him the order to flip back over. Nope, I pinned him somehow. I guess Control F is not flip. Rally, Control Shift F. There we go. So now he is unpinned, which is good. But unfortunately, we used all 3 of our orders to make that happen. So maybe that's not what we want to. Well, no, we did think we want to do that because they will all automatically recover and stop being pinned in this segment over here. So we could just wait. The problem is, in the general initiative impulse, I want to give that commander the opportunity to drop down fire and brimstone. So, or at least smoke. So that's where we're at right now with those guys. Unfortunately, that means everybody else is acting on their own initiative. So let's check 1st Platoon, who gets 2 orders, which is only 1 because of their green nature. Now they have to decide if they want to do anything from here. I don't know if we want to move them onto this card. There's just too much going on there. I think they're just going to save all 3 orders. 2nd Platoon is probably also going to save orders, or they might give an order to somebody to go with them and maybe bring this casualty back. Actually, 2nd Platoon headquarters could do that themselves. They can carry 1 casualty. So I think that's what they're going to probably do. So let's see what orders they get. They got 2, which means they get 1. So at this point, now we can try to do something with him. What 2nd Platoon should probably do is give an order to somebody to go and do something. But the other option, yeah, you know what? 2nd Platoon can't give orders to this mortar section. I really want them to, but mortar section is part of 1st Platoon, and maybe that's what 1st Platoon could do before we activate. No, we already said he's done. But maybe next time, if 1st Platoon has some extra orders, I want him to walk over here and tell this mortar section to come over here and provide some heavy fire onto the card over there. As it is, we can potentially call down that heavy fire if we can spot this guy. But for now, 2nd Platoon's going to move up here, which marks them as exposed. And then they're going to pick up this casualty, which we could just put in their assets, but I'm just going to leave it on the board for now so we remember. And then that costs them 2 orders. Let's see. So they're down to 2, and they're going to save the rest. And next turn, they could bring them back to here, and the turn after that, they could send them back to the staging area, and that might be getting us an experience point for the end here. So now, 3rd platoon is next. 3rd platoon gets 1 order, and if they're acting on their own initiative, it can be reduced to 0. So they actually get 0 orders, but they've got things to do. They are going to attempt, they're going to have the bazooka team here try to spot this enemy in the trench on the orchard over here. Now, I'm a little concerned because we only get 2 pulls, but we're looking for the word, we're looking for a crosshair icon here. 1, 2. Oh, we got lucky. We got lucky. It happened in the very first go. So 3rd platoon spent 1 order to spot, and immediately everybody on this card is going to open up against that spotted enemy. So that's good news. We now have a volley of fire coming over here, and it's actually an automatic weapons fire because we've got a heavy machine gun, light machine gun, giving us some automatic weapons fire there. Now we've got 2 left. I kind of want to put a grenade attack onto that same trench in the hopes that we can at least deal with one of those enemies for now. So let's try that. A grenade attack. So we're going to order the bazooka guy. He's got close range. That means he can do 1 card away. So we're going to pull 2 cards, and we're looking to see if we can get a grenade on it. 1, 2. We did. We got a grenade on it. Excellent. That's also great news. So a grenade attack is significantly stronger. It's actually a -4 instead of a -1. So much, much better chance that we're actually going to do some damage here. And I think that means he might save the last order. Alternatively, he could move somewhere. Actually, he was under cover this turn. So he should have gained 1 order from cover and 1 order from the initiative. So he should have actually had 2. And I think with one of his last orders, he's going to move out from under cover so that he can be activated next turn. And maybe he does order the bazooka team to come out from under cover too, and they need to spend 1 of their ammo on that attack. I almost forgot about that. There we go. Okay, I think that's the end of 3rd platoon. 1st sergeant is undercover and gains 1 automatically, but he's pinned, which is -1. So he only gets 1 order. And I think he's just going to hold on to it. Actually, if he's got 2 orders, he can unpin himself and then order the artillery to attack. That's going to work. So he's going to spend 2 actions, and he's going to unpin himself, and then he's going to order the forward observer to call down some fire and brimstone, specifically some smoke, onto this hedgerow to protect this squad and let them leave next turn and get out of the way. So let's see how effective that is. We're only getting to pull 2 cards here, and we need to see an explosion icon. Oh, no! Short rounds. I have not yet had to deal with short rounds. Oh, boy. This is a disaster. It's a good thing we were calling in like a white phosphorus mission, which is slightly less bad than a full artillery mission, but oh no. Oh, we just brought our platoon headquarters over here. He's exposed. What's he gonna do? Oh, and all of these guys are stacked under the same cover, which somehow makes them more vulnerable than if they were out in the open. I think that means everybody here's going to die. This is really, really bad. If we get any general orders, I think we're going to have the company headquarters bail out and get the heck off of this guard. To run away. We can't die. We can't allow ourselves to die. And, order anybody else to get the heck out of that cover as well, especially the squad, which has taken up a lot of the steps. We might be able to make that work a little better. But the platoon leader there, he's just screwed. He came here to get the casualties. They told him it was all clear, and then they called in our own friendly fire. Okay, so let's see what we do get for general orders. This is a turn where we could really use a lot of them. We only got 1. Jesus. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can get rid of 2 of, oh, 7. Oh, no. I I honestly think we need to save somebody here, and perhaps it should be the company headquarters. So he is going to run away, and he's going to try to infiltrate, because why not? He didn't get to infiltrate. So he's exposed on this over here. But everybody else there is just going to be doomed with a -4 result. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. That forward observer is probably going to get killed, and it'll be his own fault. So that's the end of that. Let's move on. Enemy headquarters event, no enemy headquarters event. Enemy activity check. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. We're going to do a random 4. It's 4. So it's this guy over here. So he is going to check. He is not under fire, but has a valid target along PDF. He's going to attempt to concentrate fire. So he's going to roll 2 cards here looking for a crosshair symbol. 1, 2. Oh, no, he got it. Now we got to figure out which one that he managed to concentrate on, because he's only going to pick one of these. So 1, 2. We got a 2. So concentrate fire is here on top of that poor guy. And I did not get them out of there. I wanted to get more general orders, and it got so much worse when they called down the white phosphorus on our own team. Oh, no. Okay, continuing on, we have to try the next 3, and that's a 3. So that's this guy here. He is under fire from a direction different to its own PDF. So he is going to roll a 1 to a 4, and he got a 4, which is shift PDF direction to incoming fire. Oh, no. Oh, no. So that means we've got small arms fire over here now. Nope, not that. Small arms fire over here, which is where my captain went to get safety. Okay, this might be a very short campaign, guys. We might just die here and now. Oh, boy. He didn't even go undercover. You know what? I'm going to do... No, because putting him undercover has a distinct thing. You know what? He gets +1 order when he's undercover. And he could use that order to get out of cover and give orders. So there's no reason actually to not put him undercover in this situation. So I'm just going to retcon that one little bit. I'm going to say when he moved this card, he was allowed to go undercover, and that's what he did. Okay. To that end, we've got 2 more cards we have to check. 1, 2, and let's see. It's a 2. That's this litter team. They are paralyzed. Sorry, they're pinned and undercover. So a 1 to a 4 is a 2, which is no action. So they are done. Now we got to check the MG42 over here, which is probably going to concentrate fire. Yep, it's concentrating fire. So it's going to pull 2 cards looking for a crosshair icon. Oh, I was really hoping for a jam, but no. We didn't get a crosshair icon, at least. Wait a minute. It is a heavy machine gun on a tripod, so it actually pulls a 3rd card and fails. Oh, and I did not decrement them an ammo the last time when they fired. So they started at 6. They should actually be at 5. And I think I also didn't decrement my own unit at some point in the previous ones. I had to fix that. Okay, so that's all the enemy activity checks. Next, we're going on to capture segment, retreat segment. Retreat any unpinned paralyzed team under a VOF marker 1 card. Dang it, they're all pinned. So they didn't rally themselves to get to do that. Also, retreat any unpinned litter team. We don't have that. Plus a casualty marker under a VOF marker 1 card. This guy's pinned, so he can't do anything either. And then we're going to mutual combat segment. Here's the update of the fire mission. So, unfortunately, that lowers this VOF from heavy to small arms, because this guy is now the only one that can actually shoot at it. There's no longer a crossfire. The heavy fire from the machine gun on this card cannot see out of the card anymore because of the smoke that's here. So that's the update to that. Next, potential contact evaluation segment. We did not move on to any potential contacts. In fact, this should not be here. That was from a previous contact. So there's no potential contact evaluation segment. There is now a pinned recovery segment for anybody that is not under a VOF. That would have been true for everybody here, but they called down fire on themselves. Looks like everybody that is pinned is also under a VOF, so that doesn't happen. We go straight to the combat effects segment. So this guy doesn't take any fire, but he does spend 1 ammo. Next, we go here. They are under attack. They are at +3 for the cover, +1 for being pinned, and so +6 total, and +0 there. So they're at a +6 on the card, which is a miss, which means they are unpinned, unfortunately. Next, we go down here, no, here, no, here. Oh, actually, this guy does unpin himself. I missed that one. Sorry. He's not under a VOF, so he unpins himself. And that means that this small arms was correct. I should have had all pinned for a second there, but not anymore. Okay. Next, these guys are under fire, and the strongest VOF is this grenade, which is -4, and they have +2, +1, so that's a -1 total. Oh, but explosive, I think that includes grenades, do... No, I was incorrect. It looks like that is only for... This explosive is only for incoming markers, like the one we have on this card over here. And as a result, we're now going to do a -4 +3 is -1 attack on that guy in the trench. He's hit, and the line level enemy takes a PL result. That means a paralyzed and a litter team, which means that he's down to just a fire team. He's also all pinned, which is going to have to update some stuff in the near future. Next, this guy has nothing to resolve except he should also have 6 ammo. He spends 1 ammo to shoot this turn. This guy has to resolve. He's at -1 but +2, so he's at a +1. And +1 means he stays pinned. This is disastrous. Let's do the 2nd Platoon headquarters, who only came here to help out his own fallen allies. So he's at -2, -4. So he's at -6 and a +1, because when you got stuff falling from the sky, you use the white result, unfortunately. So that means that he's at -6 +1 means he's at the worst, -4. All right, come on, Platoon headquarters. You can hang in there. Oh, no, he's hit, and we check the green result. It's a casualty. We lost another headquarters. Ay. All right, well, that happened. Next, let's do the paralyzed team. They are at oh, no, the cover. We got to do the cover check here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that means we're 3 over, which means that this cover is not +1, it's somehow -3, which doesn't feel right to me. It feels like the cover should have a maximum negative modifier equal to its positive modifier or something like that. Or -1 should be the max that you can get from this, but oh boy, it's very bad. Let's just play it as the rules say, which is for every step above 3, you subtract the cover by 1, and I assume that means it can go negative. In fact, it can go negative because it's not the cover that's being modified. The rule says for every step above 3 that is under a cover marker, each unit attacked by a grenade, incoming, or airstrike VOF receives a -1 stacking penalty modifier. Just calls it a penalty modifier. And the example also clarifies it because it's over by 2. They would receive a modifier of -2 even though the cover's +1. So these guys are almost certainly all going to be dealing with a -4. Because there's a -4 there, and the cover's -3, and the best they could get from here is +1. So everybody here is just going to be -4. Let's see. The paralyzed team first is a pin. So nothing happens to them. The heavy machine gun is hit, and they are line casualty. Wow. This is more than brutal. This is absolute disaster. Okay. The squad also hit. And the result of the line squad, 1 paralyzed step falls off. That's not terrible. We can recover that. The first sergeant, it's a veteran first sergeant. Hang in there, first sergeant. He's only pinned. He's hanging in. This first sergeant's tough as nails. All right, the forward observer who called in this stupid thing, of course, he's hit. And the effect is paralyzed. And yeah, that was just really bad. Oh, boy. I can't believe we lost our heavy machine gun. I really wanted to get them. Now they're going to be green coming in the next one. I don't remember if we can give any veterancy to units that are being reconstituted. I know you can't do that with leaders. No, it specifically says reconstituted HQs and staff cannot be promoted and are always green. But theoretically, we could reconstitute that heavy machine gun, and that would be okay. We can spend an experience point to make them line again. All right. So that was everybody here. We lost some more guys because of that fire mission that came down on our own squad. Now we got to go to the next one, and it's just as bad. By the way, I think that heavy machine gun should have dropped a bunch of ammo here, but since we don't have any more heavy machine guns, and I don't think we can reconstitute it, we're just going to ignore it. Okay, so over here, we have a small arms VOF. The 3rd platoon got caught out in the open, but at least he's not exposed, so he is at a +1. That's a pinned result. Okay, he can accept that. Then the the friendly bazooka squad here is also a +1. That's a hit, though, and they are paralyzed. Meanwhile, the company headquarters is at +2, -2. 0. It's a miss. Oh, it's a miss. We made it, ladies and gentlemen. That's me. That's Captain Bridger. So, all right, these guys here are under a +2, and they are surviving as well. So they didn't lose any of their potency. The light machine gun team in the cover there is doing a good job. All right, now over here, this is pretty bad. The paralyzed squad here. There's not a crossfire here anymore. That's good news for the guys in the open field. There's only the fire coming in from the machine gun MG42 squad over here on the right. So let's do the paralyzed team first. Is +1, -1. There is 0. That's pinned. They stay pinned. The concentrate fire is actually +1, -2. So they're -1, which is a miss. They're missed. So they are actually unpinned. When you get missed from being shot at, you become unpinned, because that just means that the fire is focused somewhere else. So they tried to concentrate fire at these guys. Those guys are too good for them. Okay. I feel like that could have been much worse. Somehow we're just going to have to rally all these guys that are on this card. And we've got like 2 turns before we have to maybe try to take these objectives. So I don't have a lot of hope for that, but let's see. Cleanup phase. And the other thing we have to double check in the cleanup phase, remove pyrotechnics, that's all done. Evacuate casualties from cards designated as casualty evacuation. Enemies firing at cards without a valid target, shift or cease fire. That is not true. All enemies that are firing shift and cease fire. What we do need to do here, though, is this is still a small arms VOF, actually. These guys are still a small arms VOF. That's correct. And these guys can't be seen, so that should only have the 1. This PDF actually doesn't technically exist right now because of the fire mission that's happening here. So I think nothing changes as far as all that's concerned. So let's go ahead and check our headquarters event. We did not get one. All right, company headquarters. It's your time to shine, so to speak. We've at least got some saved orders. Oh, no, wait. 2nd platoon is the one that went down, right? 2nd platoon headquarters is gone. Oh, I didn't even learn that lieutenant's name. He hasn't even been here long enough. I at least came up with a name for the XO. He's done some good stuff, Anderson, but he's gone now. Maybe he just got heavily wounded. Maybe he's back at the Army hospital. All right. So now we're going to check the headquarters. How many orders are the headquarters going to get? They're undercover, which is a +1. 4. So they're at +1, -1 because of green and cover. Now, they can come here. That's what they're going to do. They're going to spend 1 immediately to move out here, which actually moving within a card would mark them exposed. That's way worse than I thought. They're going to try to infiltrate here instead. So let's see what they do. Infiltrate is only 1 card for them. This is bad. No, I don't think we want them to infiltrate onto this card. We want them to infiltrate onto this card. Let's draw 1. They missed on the infiltrate, so they are marked as exposed. But from here, they're still outside of cover and adjacent to 3rd Platoon headquarters, which means they have radio communications with 3rd Platoon. They actually couldn't communicate on the same card with 3rd Platoon headquarters, now that I think about it, because they don't have visual verbal when they're pinned, except for rallying. And that might be what they do. But do they want to go under the cover? I think they do want to go under the cover so they can maybe spend some other actions. Yes, they want to activate the 1st Sergeant here. Which, can they do that? He does not have a radio. He never picked up the radio, so I can't use visual verbal communication. So we have to spend 1 to attempt to rally the first sergeant. Luckily, no, not luckily. Rally actions actually use the originator's experience level, so he'd only have to pull 1 card. So I don't think we can afford to try to rally the first sergeant. I think instead we're just going to stay outside of the cover, and we're going to try to give orders to first platoon and then save our actions. So he's been activation completed. First platoon has been activated. This guy, we got to get off that card. We need to get him off that card, and these guys, we got to get off of that card. I just don't think we can do it without activating more people. And right now, everybody's out of communication and unable to do anything. So these guys here that are pinned, they'll at least rally when this fire mission goes away. But that'll be a while. We might consider at this point getting in a good position and then defending as best we can. So he could radio to third platoon and have him, yeah, he can actually use 2 orders, 1 to unpin third platoon and then activate third platoon. That'll give us slightly more flexibility this turn. Okay, so let's check first platoon's orders. They got 3. I think third platoon is going to try to come be a hero. Sorry, first platoon might try to come be a hero here. They're going to run up here. They're going to try to infiltrate. Did not successfully infiltrate. Then they're going to give orders to this guy to vacate the card. But first, they have to rally him. So they have to spend 1 to rally. They did not rally. Okay, that's bad. Now, I believe they can't give them any other orders. They have to try to exhort. So he moved, he rallied. Now he's going to try to exhort. Yes, he got it. Okay, rally was what we were looking for. So he is unpinned now. Now he's going to spend 1 to tell this guy, because he can't give him any other orders aside from unpin yourself. He can't tell him to move. He can't, technically, it's so confusing. Pinned guys have the ability to perform orders from a limited list, including run away and get onto a friendly card that doesn't have enemy fire pouring onto it. They cannot be given those orders via visual verbal communication. They're not able to look around and receive orders from somebody nearby. So the only order they're allowed to receive from someone nearby is the rally order, which we gave him. And then now we're going to spend the order to send him back to this card. Then the last order is going to be to try to have this guy find some cover before he gets attacked. He only gets to pull 2, though, because he's green. 1, 2. You're in big freaking trouble there, platoon leader. He's trying to be a hero. I don't want to lose all these leaders on the first mission, but it might just be that hard at the moment. Okay, so first platoon's done. Third platoon's going to pull 2. -1 is 1. That's like useless. I think he can't even tell the machine gunner to concentrate fire because he's not in the same position as the machine gunner. So I think he just has to save his order. He can't do anything with that 1, really. So next we're going on to the first sergeant, who is undercover and pinned and veteran. So he gets +2 and -1. So that means when he activates, he gets his 1 order like normal +1 for being veteran. And the cover and the pin cancel each other out. I think he's just going to save his orders so that he can automatically get rid of his pin. We're just very short on orders right now, especially because second platoon's gone too. Okay. This disaster of a mission we're going to try to do something with. Here is our general initiative. We need a lot. We got 2. That's not terrible. So this guy is going to move, and I think he can just move, to an adjacent card not under enemy fire. Even if he's pinned. The difference is he'd have to drop what he was carrying, and I think that was just a piece of a fire team, so he doesn't have anything that he's carrying. So he's going to fall back there, and he's technically exposed. Meanwhile, the second order is going to be to these guys. They should actually be opening up on this. I think we forgot to do that. We could order them to try to find cover, but instead I want them to move to this card, and that gets rid of this. I think I'm going to have him infiltrate and get under this cover. So here's the infiltration attempt. 1, 2. We did not get the infiltration icon, so he is exposed. All right, but the goal here was to get out of line of sight of this machine gun so that it would just disappear and stop being a problem. And we did that. So now that guy's safe. That guy was okay. We almost did that over here too, but the 1st Platoon headquarters got stuck, and now he might be in big trouble. We'll see. Maybe he gets lucky. So that's the end of our general. Let's check the enemy headquarters. No. Let's check the enemy's actions. So 1, 2, 3, 4 cards to check. We do card 1 first. That's this guy who's going to attempt to concentrate fire down here. He pulls 3. 1, 2, 3. So that was successful. He spends an extra ammo to concentrate fire down here. What is that? 6? Yes. And then we go to the next 3 options, and it's 3, so it's this guy. Now, as far as I can tell, he now falls under not under fire and no line of sight to an enemy, so he just gets removed, and we put a potential contact marker. C or A would have been the one that... Yeah, it would have been A. Goes on his own card, which has no effect on the game because I can't actually get onto that card. So that's kind of useless. But he's gone. And it feels gamey, but we're going to do it until we decide that we really, really don't like it. So that's done. Next is either the litter team or these guys. Let's see. The litter team, no, these guys. So each of them, we're now going to check in order from bottom to top. A 2 is a middle one. So the paralyzed team is pinned under cover, which means they do a 1 to a 4. They got a 3, which means they rally. Yeah, 3 means rally. That's the only bad result for us here. So they rally means unpin in this case, luckily. Yeah, if a unit is pinned, attempt to remove the pinned marker. Oh, actually, they're going to attempt to remove the pinned marker. But they're under fire, so it's not guaranteed. So because they're green, they only pull 1 card and they check to see if they rally. They didn't rally, so they're actually fine. So now we've got bottom and top 1 and 2. A 1 is next. This fire team is going to do the same thing here because they are also pinned. So they pull 1 to see if they rally, and they don't. Finally, the litter team here is also, let's see. Yeah, they're all pinned under cover. That's the first result on all of them. So they're going to try to rally as well, and they did not either. So that was good news for us, as these guys are still mostly out of commission. And in fact, this is not small arms anymore. I should change this to all pinned this round. Last round it was correct that it was small arms. This time it's all pinned. So that's good. Then we're going to move on to, that is this litter team here we haven't done. They are not pinned under cover. 2 or more assault teams, no. Assault team, no. Litter team in same area as a casualty, no. Litter team with casualty in line of sight, no. Litter team with no casualty in line of sight. On a 3, they rallied. They did rally. So that means that it goes from a litter team to a fire team. Oh, that's bad news because he's now going to engage. Who's he going to engage with? The closest enemy, I believe. No, actually, it's card with most friendly steps. Unfortunately for him, he is only a close range enemy. And in fact, now that we don't have to worry about that card, I'm going to zoom in a little more. He is a close range enemy, so he can't actually shoot the guys on the hill. They're too far away for this little fire team to have any effect. But he can shoot over here, which means next time he's going to exert a VOF on here. We're going to have to update that after this. Okay, so that was his... Actually, no, sorry. This is not enemy contact phase. So we do update that right now. So he's a small arms VOF firing at this squad over here. This is now a 2-way PDF. And next we go to... That was all of the enemy contact. So next is retreat or capture segment. Let's see. An unpinned paralyzed team doesn't exist at the moment. All right, so that seems to be it for the retreat segment. So we're going on to the fire mission update segment, which mercifully removes the white phosphorus. By the way, I didn't actually pay for that. There we go, white phosphorus there. Now we're on to Potential contact evaluation, there isn't any. So now pinned recovery segment. All of these guys who are pinned will now unpin because they are not on an area, on a card with a volley of fire. So that's great. What other guys are going to get unpinned? This guy is going to get unpinned. Unfortunately, this guy is on a card with a volley of fire. These guys are on a card with a volley of fire. So I think that's it for pinned recovery segment. Now we've got combat effects. Let's find out. This guy's going to spend an ammo. And then we're going to go down to this team who is under 5. So they're at +5 on the card. That's a miss. Nothing happens for them. Now we go to this guy who is at +2 on the card. That's a miss for him. Okay, he's hanging in there. They're just trading fire, gentlemanlike. Over here, we've got 3 to check, and they are all at +4 and then -1. So they're at +3 each. So let's see. The fire team is first. That's a miss, so the fire team becomes unpinned. The next one, paralyzed team, is also a +3. -1 for a +2 is a hit. So let's see what that paralyzed team, which is green, stays paralyzed. And then the next one is another +2 is a hit. And that is a green litter team. Casualty. Excellent. Get out of here. Would have been nice. Now, I don't know if the casualty has a specific location. I kind of want to ask that. But I'm going to go ahead and assume that it is in a specific area. It's not going to move on its own. So let's just drag it to the bottom here. Oops. There we go. So that card is done. Now we got to deal with, oh no. First platoon, hang in there, buddy. He's at -4 +1. So he's at a -3. And he pulls a pin miraculously. He only got pinned. He did not actually get killed there. And then over here we have no fire. Here we have all fire that is firing in this direction is pinned. And so what is that going to result in? +1, +2 is +3, +4 for this guy. Let's find out if he gets hit. No, he's unpinned because he got a miss result. Next, we got +5. No, +3 for the platoon headquarters. Come on. He missed also. Okay, good. Then we've got the light machine gun, which is a +4. That's a miss. And the second squad of 3rd platoon, which is a +2. Oh, they're pinned because they were moving in the open to get to that cover from this card or wherever they came from. All right, so that wasn't terrible. And now we've got to clean things up and double check all of our VOFs. So this appears to be correct. These guys are trading small arms fire. And this still appears to be correct. Oh no, the fire team here has unpinned itself because it was a miss. So now this is back to a 0. So not great. 3rd platoon headquarters is probably going to want to get into that cover. But other than that, we're heading on to turn 7. I'm sorry, this is turn 8. I forgot to move this. Here we go. So let's check our friendly headquarters event. There is a friendly headquarters event. A 4 on friendly headquarters is battalion headquarters. Heard some panicked sounds on the radio and is coming to check up on us. He heard about the friendly fire and he's coming to see what's going on. So the event says checking up, randomly select one higher HQ staff. In this case, it was a battalion commander or a regimental commander randomly chosen. Put it on the same card as the company headquarters. They will remain on the map for 2 turns. Battalion headquarters is now considered to be on the map. They actually get auto-activated with 6 orders. And I got to find their special orders thing here. Okay, so apparently there is not a battalion commander marker for this track, but I'm just going to, I created a copy of one. So we've got a major here. We've got to come up with a name for our major, right? He's got to have a name. All right, we got a name. Major Theodore Reynolds is here. He's come onto the field to find out how things are going. And when a battalion commander or a regimental commander or a brigade commander arrives on the field with your company, he automatically gets activated with 6 orders. You usually want to keep him in communication with your company headquarters. So usually keep him on the same card as your company headquarters, though I think he probably also always comes with his own battalion radio. We're going to proceed forward with that assumption. So they could activate the company headquarters no matter where they are. But this is actually a great place for them to be because we've got a lot of units that need orders to rally and other things. So the battalion commander is going to spend their first order always to activate the company headquarters. No question. First platoon, not yet activated. And the platoons cannot be directly activated by the commander. The commander can only activate the company headquarters, but then he's got 5 extra orders to do with as he will. So we're going to move him into cover here. That costs 1 more order, unfortunately, and he is technically exposed while he does that. Then he's going to try to rally these. No, he's going to succeed in rallying these various paralyzed teams to litter teams. So that's going to cost him 3 orders, it looks like, to do with the paralyzed teams. So 1, 2, and 3. And then for his last order, I think... oh, no, we lost the radio guy, didn't we? Yeah, because the radio guy turned into a paralyzed. And when you're paralyzed, not fire team, but paralyzed, you lose access to the marker that you had in the previous round. Okay, so to that effect, let's pull out it was an artillery forward observer. The thing that Vassal does is it deletes these markers as soon as you are done using them, or as soon as you try to convert them to a litter team or a paralyzed team. It's probably best to pull them out and to remember that you have them available for future missions or something like that. Okay, so we've got that done. Now we've got 3 litter teams here, and we also happen to have 3 casualties here. So it would be nice if these litter teams would take the casualties and retreat them back towards the casualty collection area. But here's the thing. From my reading of the rules, the way this is written is that litter teams only bring a casualty back if they're under a VOF marker. So once they get out of fire, they'll just stop trying to save the casualties, which is a little annoying. I got the impression that they would actually automatically do it once they were on the same area as a casualty. And so now we have to technically give them orders to do all that. So what did I want to do? I want to have the company first sergeant pick up this tactical radio that the XO dropped. So here's the company first sergeant. Oops, we'll put this right here. And he's now got a tactical radio, which means that he can, and that was my last order, was to have him pick up things. He could also theoretically, and he will, I think, just so that we have somebody that has this, he'll pick up the other stuff, and it also gets it off of the map, that the XO or the platoon, whoever it was that died there, dropped. Yeah, the XO dropped all that other stuff. So now we have a little less stuff here going on. Now, that was the last order by the battalion commander. Was to instruct the XO to pick up, or the first sergeant pick that up. Now, the company headquarters is going to roll here to see what they get. Remember, the battalion commander always gets +6. They don't ever roll. They just come on. When they're on the map, they get 6 orders. So now the company HQ is going to roll, and they only get 3 minus 1 is 2. They're going to activate the first sergeant because now, even though they're not in... Oh, radios in cover. The radios in cover usable on the same card? No, it says they don't function when they're in cover markers. It seems like if you're on the same card, they should go from not cover to cover. But I recognize that there were severe limitations of these handheld radios, these early handheld radios, and that we have to respect that element. So what I'm worried about here is we got to get first platoon out of the way. But he might have to just do it on his own initiative. So company headquarters, I can't activate first sergeant. Whoops, I can't activate first sergeant unless I send the company headquarters under the cover marker. So maybe instead the company will activate third platoon and then he'll save 1 order. So he'll be done. I actually forgot I can cycle the experience level on these guys to show. Now, I remember they're all green, except this guy who's, right. And And then first platoon is also green. And these will definitely be green next time because they died. So, and the battalion commander is actually always considered line. Okay, so we've done what we could for our company headquarters. We only have one during the activation segment. It's third platoon. They're going to pull and look at the big number. They got 2 minus 1 is 1. Green leaders are so infuriating how little orders they get. I didn't appreciate just how bad it was going to be with these green leaders all gets like minus just the battalion. So first the company headquarters gets -1. So that's like an entire platoon that isn't activated. So that's like -3 orders right there. Then the company HQs and the staff, except for the first sergeant who's a veteran. Anyway, what are we going to do with this guy here? Well, I guess what I'd like to do, I don't like that this stupid fire team rallied. That's really annoying. In fact, what should have happened at the... Oh, yeah, what should have happened last round before these guys all got murdered is I think we were supposed to put a fire in a PDF here to fire over there, but we're going to play it as it lies. So what do we do here? We need to keep the pressure on these guys to make sure they don't rally too much. And I also am worried about these guys. I kind of want the platoon leader to rally these guys. This paralyzed team would at least convert to a fire team. That wouldn't be terrible. But they've only got 2 orders. It's like, what are they going to do? Shift fire is automatic. So I could ask this platoon headquarters to try to infiltrate to this card and shift the fire from here to here. Because this is a slightly bigger threat. And it's definitely easier to kill being only in a trench on a 1 instead of being in a farm on a house there. So at the same time, I really don't want this platoon headquarters to take any damage. So what we're going to do instead to keep up the pressure on these guys is we're going to spend 1 order for the platoon headquarters to go undercover, which he has to do in order to actually get anything done because he can't tell this machine gun what to do unless he goes over there. Then he's going to spend his last order asking the machine gunner to concentrate fire. So they're going to draw 2, 1, 2, and that was unfortunately unsuccessful. I was going to say we could do another grenade attack, but no, we can't. Maybe what we should do is send this squad onto here. But the fact that the machine gunner's doing pretty well. If we had gotten the concentrate fire, they would have probably done well. These guys aren't in good cover, so we don't need a close assault. Nor the fact that if we did move on to that card, more enemies back here might open up on us. Okay, so now we're on to not the activation segment, the initiative segment. Let's check out what first platoon gets for their initiative. Come on. Oh, they got 3. Excellent. So they're going to attempt to rally themselves, although they don't even have to. They can just move. So first platoon can just move because they are on their own initiative, and pinned doesn't stop you from moving. Let's see. Where's the LAT limitations here? You see, pinned allows them to seek cover, move within a card, move to an adjacent card, but only if it's a staging area or a friendly occupied card that has no VOF on it. And so that is true. And they are normally immune to verbal visual, so they normally can't receive orders, but these guys are moving on their own initiative, so they are allowed to leave. So that's fantastic. Good news for us. These guys are gonna auto, and I didn't get I actually only got 2. This is 3 minus 1. So these guys spent 1 to move to this card, and I think they're gonna save the other one because we don't want anybody moving up just yet. And now we get the first sergeant. He was not activated, so he gets 1 order for being initiative and then +1. So he could give orders for these guys to pick up these casualties. Yeah, I think we're going to try to get these casualties out of here with the first sergeant. He might be the only one that can do this properly. So this litter team is going to pick up this casualty. And it's hard to mark things as like attached, so I just got to remember that. And then, so that's 1 order. Then he's going to send them down to a previous card. So here we go. They're carrying that litter team, or the litter team's carrying that casualty. And then next, he's got 2 orders left. So he's going to order one of these guys to go out here. And then he's done. Because if he goes out there to give him another order, they can't get there. It feels like you should be part of the move to this spot is also the pick up the casualty over there rule, but I'm just going to play it the way that the rule says. And he's going to save his last order. Actually, okay. The wording says have an infantry unit pick up items from the card or from a different unit, blah, blah, blah. So I think they don't have to move over there to pick it up. So they've decided to provide a little bit of ease there. So again, he's going to spend 2 more orders. He had 4. He spent 2 to get this guy down there. Now he's going to spend 2 to get the next litter team down here with another casualty. And then he's done. He's trapped where he is. He can't go anywhere else. So that's it. That's as far as we can get. Now we get some general initiative. And we get 0. Beautiful. Ay. All right. Now we got to find out what the enemy headquarters event is nothing. Now we get to see what they're going to do. So we got 1, 2, 3 cards to check. And we pull a 1 through a 3. So it's this guy. Now, this is where the magic happens. This is where the cheesy part happens. They're not on the same card. They don't have an out of ammo marker. They don't have not under fire and no line of sight to an opposing unit. Remove unit and place PC marker. So he just goes away and we put a PC marker. I think the one that triggered him was an A. So we put an A up here where it doesn't matter. I don't know why you place a PC marker at all. I guess if there's guys here that opened up over here, but there's already going to be a PC marker there like 90% of the time. So, yeah. Anyway, he's gone. And that means this is gone. Oops, not to clone it. Don't clone it. And the PDF there is gone. So now he's no longer a problem. Next turn 9, we can move up to here. Turn 10, we can move to here. And the same thing, I'm going to probably have the balance of 3rd platoon try to get to the secondary objective on turn 10. We only have to have it on the final turn. So why trigger potential contact until the final turn? That's another cheesy element where it feels like you should have to, in order to secure something, you have to survive an entire turn there or something to that effect. Instead of just, oh yeah, at the end of the very last turn, you did that and took a little fire and then that was the end of the battle. Anyway. We're going to make that final assault here. The 10-turn limit, by the way, or whatever the limit is for the scenario, is supposed to be like, okay, fighting in a given area is only going to last so long before both sides are like exhausted, because it doesn't seem like, if you watch war movies, sometimes they're running from place to place and sometimes they're just laying in a field shooting. And you should think to yourself, well, that doesn't look very tiring. I guarantee you, I haven't actually been in combat, but with that much adrenaline pumping through your system, you will get exhausted just sitting there, dealing with the anxiety of everything going on, much less getting up and running between cover and carrying heavy backpacks while you do, etc., etc. Obviously, the 10-turn maximum for this is before your units get so tired they can't really effectively fight anymore on both sides, and they pull back a little bit to whatever the best, part of their terrain is. Anyway. Now we're done with that was them disappearing. Now we've got 2 more cards to do. One is this guy. So that's a fire team. That is fire team that is undercover on an opposing unit's card. No. Leader on fire team side, litter team with casualty, paralyzed team. I don't actually see an option for them. I think they have no action. They're not pinned. There's not 2 or more fire teams here. They're not an assault team. Let me pull this up. Maybe you guys can help. Even though it's going to be way too late when you guys see this. But where's the enemy activity? This is the one right here, right? They're not pinned. So the first ones don't apply. They're not 2 or more. They're not an assault team. They're not a fire team not undercover. They are a fire team undercover, but they're not on an opposing unit's card. Leader on fire team side, no. Weapon team on a fire team side, no. Not litter team, not litter team, not litter team, not paralyzed team. I think they just sit there and do nothing, as far as I can tell. So we'll resolve this last one here. We've got a paralyzed team and a fire team. And I think the same thing is true here. This fire team's just going to do nothing. But the paralyzed team, what did we have there for the paralyzed team? We did get, they're pinned, right? So paralyzed team is pinned under cover. So they're going to try to rally. So it's a 1 to a 4 is what we pulled. They got a 3, which actually does rally them, unfortunately. That unpins them. But they're still paralyzed, lucky for us. All right. And that's the end of the enemy activity phase. So now we're going on to capture segment. There's no cards that have both sides, so there's no capturing. Retreat any unpinned paralyzed team, marker one card. So that actually causes this paralyzed team to disappear. They go past the line of advance off the map. They're gone. Then there's paralyzed teams on my side. Retreat any unpinned paralyzed team under a VOF marker 1 card. So that was correct, but there's no other paralyzed teams under VOF markers, so they do not actually go. And then we go to fire mission updates. There were no fire missions, no potential contacts, pinned recovery segment. I think, nope, this guy's under fire, so he doesn't recover automatically. So now we're going to combat effects segment. Let's double check this here. This guy has a small arms. There's nothing from this card that can shoot him. It's all, this used to have the heavy machine gun on it, which was able to shoot over the woods there and hit the guy in the farmhouse. But the calling down artillery on our own position absolutely destroyed that. So yeah, he is at a +5 on the card and he gets pinned. Lucky us. That's unlikely. All right, next up is these guys who are at a +2 on this card, which is a miss. Excellent. And then these guys who are at -1, +2 total, they are pinned. Excellent. That's also good news for us. And then we've got these guys. Let's do the paralyzed team first. They are at +1. They are pinned. And then actually, hang on. The paralyzed team that was unpinned, they would have retreated. I skipped over that, but they should have retreated 1 card. Right. Retreat any unpinned paralyzed team under a VOF marker 1 card. Yeah, they had unpinned themselves on a previous turn, so they didn't actually get anything happen to them. But now these guys, the LMG here is at a +2, which is a pin. Dang it. That's bad news. We're going to have to update the VOF there. These guys are at a +3. That's a miss, so they unpin themselves. And then the 3rd platoon headquarters is at a +2. They are pinned. Ugh. This is just a disaster. I need 3rd platoon to attack 2nd objective here. But at the moment, I need to get them all together on this card in order for that to happen. And when he's pinned, he's going to be lower, have fewer. So I'm going to save some orders on 3rd platoon to carry over into number 10, so we can assault the objective on turn 10. Okay. I think that's everyone. This guy should have unpinned, actually, during the other segment. 2nd platoon sitting here, not sure what to do with their leader missing. It is what it is. Okay. So we also could call in some fire from this mortar section, but unfortunately the place I want to call fire down is over here, and I can't get there. He's just out of range. So I need to move him somewhere more in range. He could attack over here, and I might try to do that. Okay, so that's the end. Clean up. And, this doesn't have an automatic weapons foot. That should have gone away a while ago, actually. But they are still doing. Now we've got to upgrade this. This is now all pinned. The only fire coming here is pinned. This is not all pinned, but it is reduced to only small arms from the 2nd squad on this particular card. These guys are not pinned. These guys are, so this goes to all pinned. So everything just shifted in my favor. My cards got +2. Actually, this did shift in their favor because it went from -1 to 0. But we could try concentrating fire here next turn and try to finish them off. But I don't need to waste those orders. These guys don't matter. We don't need to take that card. The objectives are over here, so let's plan on that. Okay, that's the end of turn 8. Let's go to turn 9. The battalion commander starts with 6 orders. He's going to spend his first one to activate our company headquarters, which these guys should be up here. 3rd platoon, 1st sergeant. Okay. Now he's got 5 more orders here. I might use those orders to try and evacuate these casualties. So the first thing he's going to do is have this litter team pick up that, right? That's one order. And I think they stay where they are. The pickup items doesn't suggest that they move from their current location. So they go get the items and then they come back, I guess. Oh no, I looked at the actual rules now. One command to have a unit pick up any assets, casualties, ammo in their card area. So they do have to, it's so order intensive just to tell them, hey, get these casualties back. Like, why does it cost so many orders to do that? I mean, one of the things they talk about in the rules here is that your soldiers know how to soldier, basically, right? They will pour fire on the enemy when the enemy appears. They will automatically take advantage of the cover that's built into there, but they don't automatically pull back, when they're a litter team. I don't know. Anyway, so one order to tell them to go outside, another order to go outside with them, another order to have them pick up the thing, and another order to send them back to this card, and finally one more order just for him to come back here. It takes 5 orders to tell these guys, hey, go pick them up and bring them over here. That is just, it feels super punishing in that sense. Anyway, now the company headquarters is going to go. They only get 2 orders. Oh, it's so brutal. And they can't activate 3rd platoon at the moment. They could move and activate the 1st sergeant. We could try to rally this fire team to an assault team, but I don't know that that does much for us. We don't know what that squad was with anyway. We could get 1st platoon to move up to here, actually. 1st platoon can get this objective, and then 3rd platoon can get this one. So we definitely want to activate 1st platoon because they are able to establish radio contact. They have a line of sight, and neither of them are in cover. That's how you establish radio contact. So that cost me 1. And do we save the last order here for the company headquarters? I think we do. We'll save that. 1st platoon being the only one activated, we'll check and see how many orders they get. They get 3 minus 1 is only 2. So they spend 2 of those to perform a company move order to get over to here. And hey, there's no longer a machine gun shooting them for some reason. We left and we come back and it's gone. It no longer cares about guarding this road like it did 10 seconds ago. It would have defended that road to the death. But since we left, it's gone. That's how we deal with it. Okay. And there's no enemies to open up on here, so there's no VOFs or PDFs placed. They're all marked as exposed. And we're going to save the rest of their orders there. And next we go to activation segment. 1st sergeant is going to get 2. And what's he going to do with those 2 orders? Huh. I'd like him to maybe save those orders because maybe we need him to move up to one of these 2 cards and assist in helping get the squads under cover before the enemy opens up on them. Something like that. That's probably a good plan. Okay. So 1st sergeant's done. 3rd platoon. Now this is important. They're activating under their own initiative here. And they got 2 minus 1 is 1. What do they want to do here? Well, I guess they want to save that order. No, they want to use that order to get out of cover, to infiltrate. No, they have to stay under cover because they're getting shot at, A. B, they need to give an order to the 2nd platoon and the machine guns to head into the woods next turn. They need to do a platoon order to move up there. So he's just going to stay under this cover, and he's going to save his order. So that's all we have there. General initiative gives us a 1. At this point, I would like this squad to move in to try to infiltrate up here and join the rest of the platoon. So infiltrate. Nope. So they are exposed, unfortunately. But I want them there as a backup so we could move here in force if at all possible. Okay. That's set up best as we can. Here, let's check the enemy headquarters. No enemy headquarters event, thankfully. If we get a counterattack, it could be brutal. So now capture segment, no. Retreat segment, no. Fire mission update, no. Potential contact evaluation, no. Pinned recovery segment, no. Those guys are still under fire. So are these guys. So there's no pin recovery segment. We go straight to combat effects segment, interestingly enough. Oh, by the way, I again keep forgetting to spend my light machine gun ammo. I think I probably missed that twice. So that is, that was the only one that's been spending ammo at this point. Now, if we were to, no, the other guy was actually the one that fell back here. This paralyzed team was my former bazooka team. I have a feeling we're going to lose a lot of guys. We only get 6 replacement steps and 1 per casualty step that we managed to get retreated. Or no, 1 per casualty step, period. Per 4 casualty steps, I should say. We get a veteran back. But it looks like we're not going to have 4 casualty steps. I would like to get 1 more step killed. That would be great. No, probably not. So let's see, evaluate the rest of this stuff. Okay, so this guy is at 6, which is a miss, so he unpins himself. Nope, unpin. This guy here is at a +4. That is also a miss. He stays where he is. These guys are at +3. Oh, wait a minute. Why are they at +3? Because these guys are pinned and we didn't rally them. That's too bad. Okay, so yeah, these guys are at +3 and that's a miss, so they unpin themselves. And then the only other, this PDF actually shouldn't be here. The only other PDF is this one here, which is a +4 to most of these guys, but this squad is only at +2. It's a miss. The leader here is a +5. Pinned? Son of a bitch. The squad here is a +4. Miss. And the light machine gun is a +4. Also a miss, so they unpin themselves. Excellent. That means this is going to switch back to automatic weapons fire. This is going to switch back to small arms. And this is going to switch back to small arms. So a lot of fire being traded over here, but we have not made our fire effective enough to finally finish off just these tiny little fire teams. There's like 3 guys here and there's 2 or 3 guys over here. And that's all we've got right now in terms of enemies. And the stupid platoon headquarters guy is just terrified. He's shaking in his boots. Okay. So that all having been said, what do we do next? We go on and hit cleanup, and then we go to the final game turn, and this is where the battalion, oh no, the battalion commander leaves. He leaves. Why? Why must you go? Don't go, Daddy Commander. Oh, it's too late. He's gone. All right. So that happened. I'm going to put this off to the side where, it's not going to be needed for a while. I really would have liked to get these guys to safety, but I don't think I'm going to have the ability. Unless I pull a lot of orders with this company headquarters. Let's see what we get. First headquarter event. No. Next, come on, we need a 5 here. There's a 5. All right, company headquarters now gets +1, saved 1, and then gets -1 from the 5. So how do I want to do this? I want to activate first platoon. That's one of their orders. They are in radio range. Third platoon is not, but we could move within a card, but then you're exposed, aren't you? I really want to activate first sergeant and have him come deal with this. Because he could get me a lot of experience points if he does. But if I do move into cover, they can't then move to a different card. Huh. I guess I'm just going to have to bet on first sergeant. First sergeant's going to get to 4 just on initiative alone. 1, 2, 3, 4 in order to give movement. So the first sergeant doesn't need to be activated to save all those casualties, or at least get them back to the casualty collecting station. So to that end, the company headquarters is going to let's attempt to infiltrate under the cover here. So 1, that's all they get. They get 1. So they are not successfully able to infiltrate, but they do wind up over there with an exposed marker. Then they are going to send. They've got one here. So they use one to attempt to rally the platoon headquarters. Otherwise, they can't talk to them. They didn't do it. They're going to try to exhort them. Didn't work. Okay. With the last order, I think they're going to attempt to concentrate fire with this light machine gun. So they're going to order the light machine gun to concentrate fire. Maybe it matters. Maybe it doesn't. And we're looking for cross hairs. Didn't get it. No concentrate fire. All right. So company headquarters is out of orders. Next, we've got 1st Platoon activated and ready to go. And so they will roll. I think got one 1st Platoon. What is your major malfunction? I don't want to do a platoon move onto this card. I really don't. So I got to send 1st Squad over there. Does 1st Squad still have... Yeah, it still has a white phosphorus grenade, so it could try to give itself some cover. I was thinking 1st Platoon, the leader himself, would do it. Okay. And I guess I don't know what else 1st Platoon could do. Just save an order, I guess. I don't want their headquarters going into any danger right now. We already lost 2 of our officers. We can't afford to lose anymore. All right, so 1st Sergeant, let's activate him. Not activate, initiative him. He picks up 1 free initiative plus 1 because he's veteran. The 1st is going to come down here, and the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is to move all these guys down here with the litter teams. So they have made it back. There we go. To the casualty collection station, and we get to pick up some experience as a result of that. Rally specified units. No, that's not it. Really? Oh, evacuate friendly casualties. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Hey, that's better than nothing. And that means 1, 2, 3. This goes up. All right, had a little bit of a mix up there. I did update this here. And then we got an enemy headquarters event. So we're pulling for that now. It's an 8. What is 8? Fall back. Move unpinned units straight back 1 card. All unpinned units? Well, that's kind of useful. This guy goes away. This guy also disappears because if they're off map when they're ordered to pull back, they just disappear. So that happened. And that means there's no enemy activity phase at all. And so we go to mutual capture, retreat, mutual combat. We go to potential contact evaluation segment. We still have PDFs. So I think that means that we stay at engaged, right? This hasn't gone down because we haven't told our guys to cease fire because they, you know, until 10 seconds ago, they were shooting at somebody that was there. Contact. Yeah, 2 or more friendly occupied or, occupied cards. So it drops down to regular contact now instead. And you can't get to no contact until there's no VOF or PDF markers anywhere on the map. So we get stuck at contact instead. Now we have to evaluate these 2 cards. Let's do 1 or 2. It's a 2, so we're doing this one here first. And we're looking at B, which is 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, the 5th one had the contact for us. Youch. Okay, so let's find out what the contact is. This is PCB. We roll for a 6. Is a 2. Is that an incoming? Oh, no. These guys are getting tree bursted. Oh, boy. Artillery -4 or mortar -3. So let's check. Artillery -4 is a 1, and that's what we're getting there. Okay, so unfortunately, we got the worst result. So this is immediately incoming. And then there's a mortar spotter in a trench somewhere up here. That's not going to matter because it's the final turn, so I'm just going to skip over that particular moment. I'm going to flip this and turn that off. Turn this off. That should have been updated earlier. Sorry. There we go. So all of that's done. Now we are officially at contact because we have one place. So we don't actually. Oh, technically there'd be a mortar spotter somewhere that might be on the farm now that I think about it. So we do have to check because it might mean that we have engagement instead of contact. So let's check. So it's got a mortar spotter in a trench. The spotter is at max line of sight, but in what direction? So we roll a 1 to an 8. It's a 7, which is right front. So it's over here, which means that it's not going to be under fire from anything, so it's not going to affect anything. Because it's going to be not spotted, right? Yeah, not spotted. So nothing can shoot at it by the end. We get to the end of the turn. So we're going to ignore that and delete this. And then we're going to go ahead and check this card, which also pulls 5 cards to see if we get contact. 1, 2, 3. We did it again. We did it again. So let's pull again for a B card. And it's a 4. A 4 is package 5, which is a machine gun nest. LMG or HMG with 8 ammo. Let's check and see which one it is. 1 or 2. 1 means an LMG in foxholes. Where are those foxholes? Out of an 8, it's an 8, so that's right front. So there's an LMG in foxholes here. Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure if they should be starting in foxholes or the stronger building cover that's already on the farm card. But we're just going to go ahead and roll with it. So it's an LMG, and it's in the foxholes. There we go. Well, that is going to expose this to an automatic weapons VOF, and that should be the end of potential contact evaluation segment. And there's no pinned recovery, so now we just have to do combat effects. Lucky for us, these guys are already shooting here, even though they are unspotted. See, there's another situation. I'm not quite sure how that works. These guys start unspotted, but they can still get hit from random shots, I think, coming in, because this used to be an occupied position, so they're still subject to the VOF as far as I know. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and they start with, I think, 6 ammo. Let's go ahead and have them take the small arms fire. They have a total of +3 to the roll. It's a pin. And then we have to resolve the rest of these. These guys down here are +2, -2. Okay, got some real-time answer there. That's good. The foxholes was correct. Because this cover value, cover potential is 1, we can't draw again for new cover. So if there was a cover potential of 2 on this card, then we would redraw like on the village urban building chart to find out if there's another strong building or if it's going to be cover or something like that. In this case, because they can't have another one, they don't start there. They start in foxholes instead. So that's how it goes. Okay, so where were we? These guys are at -3 and +2. So that's a -1 for them. And they're pinned, but not down. That's good. These guys, however, are at -4, -5, -7, +2. So, yeah, they're as bad as it can get. -4. But they're only pinned. Somehow they dodged bullets. Whew, I didn't need any more casualties in this disaster of a battle. So that's better than nothing. All right. That's the end. We then hit cleanup. And then I think we check the fighting is over. Everybody kind of pulls back a little bit. VOFs are gone. And both sides, the sun's going down. They're just kind of hanging out, backing off. But we have, in fact, secured the primary objective and the secondary objective and the attack position and all the other things we needed to do. So it was an incredibly bloody battle, but we did, in fact, do that. Okay, so I think this is our final total here. We evacuated 3 friendly casualties. We secured the primary objective, which is 5. The secondary objective is worth 4. The attack position is worth 3. And we cleared 13 points worth of PC markers. That is, there were A's on all 4 of these cards. This doesn't have to actually secured. This is flip again. This is actually only cleared, but the requirement for this is clear cards that had a PCA marker. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then this one up here is 13. And so, yeah, that should be our total. Yeah, 28 is our total. That seems like a lot, and it probably will help us do a lot with our replacement steps and fixing all our guys, but that's going to I'm going to need to do that at the beginning of the next episode because that's going to require me to do a lot of checks and make sure I'm doing everything right. So, thanks for watching everybody on this video. We'll see you next time as we try to rebuild this poor company that has been torn apart by my incompetence and head on to mission number 2.